Let's work on this proposal for the hero archetype essay. The example that I'm going to be walking you through today is the one that is shown later on in the module under the example for the checklist. I'm going to use Hamlet since that is not one of the choices you need to deal with, so let's look at Hamlet. Okay, so I've opened up the template and I've decided that I'm going to use Hamlet, a tragic hero. And here is where I need to put an image representing the character in action. So there we have that character in action. Not a logo, not a poster, but the hero actually in action. I've selected Hamlet of the following publication of the... And remember, whenever I use a title, I need to put this in italics. There's a page in this course that shows you how to punctuate titles. Next, I need to tell in this proposal where I found the text. So let's go together and find the text for this particular play. I went to Google and I typed in PDF text of Hamlet. And I was able to locate any number of these. So let's just open up one. And here I have the text of Hamlet. Of course, I know that I'm going to be using SparkNotes and so forth, but it's imperative that I have this particular script to reference. So I'm going to go up here and add this to my EasyBib. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go over to EasyBib and I'm going to create a project. I'm going to name it Hamlet. All right, and I'm going to create that, and that's going to add that to my list. Now I'm going to open this and I'm going to create a new citation from that text that I just opened, the PDF. So I'm going to paste that right there. Remember, that's that PDF of the play that I just found. And I'm going to locate whatever they have found. And I'm kind of glad that it didn't find it, so I can show you how to manually create that citation. And that is the Hamlet script. And the author, of course, we know. I'm going to fill this out and then I'll be right back. Okay, so it didn't take me a second. I just put in what the article was, which is the script of Hamlet, and that's written by William Shakespeare. And the website title was w3org. Okay, now all I have to do is complete the citation. And there it is. So we have the first of the two citations that's required just for the proposal. Let's go back to our proposal and see what we need to do next. So it asked me for the URL for where I located the script, and I've added that right there as a working URL. Now I'm going to briefly summarize the hero in 2 to 4 sentences. I'll be right back. Make sure they're in your own words. So this is informal. It's in my own words. I know that I'm going to formalize this up when I write my final essay. Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, is an unhappy leader. His father has died, his mother's a mess, and his girlfriend, Ophelia, is a bit of a rattle. Hamlet's mother married Claudius, and Hamlet is furious about that. Hamlet sees ghosts, kills the wrong people, treats Ophelia like crap, and ultimately kills himself with a poisoned sword. There you go. That's in my own words. And I want you to do the same thing. Hero is an example of a tragic hero, kind of obviously. Okay, now I'm going to put this, a tragic hero, includes these 3 traits. Those I will find in this handout, which is part of the module. And I go down here to the hero archetype. I've decided that he's a tragic hero, if ever I saw one. And I'm going to pick 3 of these traits of a tragic hero, and I'm going to fill those into my proposal. I'm going to do that and be right back. of all those traits that I found in the handout, I have chosen these 3. 1, a fatal flaw in this character that causes his misery. 2, suffers from excessive pride and disrespect for the natural order of things. And 3, ends his life with an inevitable downfall that the audience feels. Next, I'm going to talk about what the hero actually does in the story that are examples of these 3 attributes. I'll be right back. Okay, so for each of these 3 tragic hero characteristics, I've selected 2 examples each, which makes a total of 6. For the first one, which is a fatal flaw in his character, Hamlet's fatal flaw, I think, is his temper. He cannot control his emotions, and he hurts Ophelia, who only worships him. Hamlet's a reactionary. See how I like to read out loud to make sure I get everything right. Stabs the wrong man, Polonius. Hamlet feels guilt, does not accept the natural order of life events. He sees his father's ghost. He's riddled with grief and guilt and so forth. Hamlet resents his mother for marrying Claudius, which is none of his business. His mother can marry whoever she wants. Hamlet sets up a showdown and watches his mother die, and then, as expected, and remember that is a quality the audience feels is going to happen, there's nothing left for him to do but kill himself, right? He's done all this other stuff. Now, I need to include my works cited working bibliography. This is my initial citation page. This shows the text I am using as well as 1 article about the archetype. So we already have over in EasyBib, let's go back there and remember, back here in EasyBib we already have the script. Now we just need to go find an article about the archetype. So to find my first article, and I know I'll have several, but this is all that's required just for the proposal part, I'm going to go to Google, and I typed in Hamlet as a tragic hero. This is going to be a bunch of essays for me to purchase. I don't want to do that, and I don't want to copy and paste one of those essays because it's wrong, and I would be cheating, and that would pick up on every single one of the plagiarism softwares that are on campus. So I'm not even going to fool with that. I don't want to buy an essay. I can figure this out by myself. All right, so there's one, eNotes. That is not a legitimate source. You know it's not. These essays, I don't want to buy an essay. They're not going to, I know more than they do anyway. This one, Prezi.com, maybe. I'm not sure what Prezi is. Article Myriad. What I'm looking for is an EDU. I'm looking for a source that really has some oomph. I don't want to use SparkNotes. I know I'm going to use SparkNotes later, but for right now I want to find a character explanation for that. Free book summary. Let me go on. Let me find something. Okay, it took a minute because you got to filter through all those eNotes, Yahoo Answers, Wiki Answers, all that stuff that's just somebody's opinion. I wanted to find something that's a legitimate source. So this, as it turns out, is a nice website because this website is a database of actual articles. And so here's an article written by Nicole Smith. It's a little bit dated, but so is Hamlet. So I'm going to go ahead and use this article as my one, and this is going to find me some really important things because look, this helps me by showing some of the quotes, and it's a good article. I am not going to copy this article and turn in the whole thing, and I'm going to quote from this article because I think she's done a really good job of writing this. So what do I need to do? I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to copy this URL. I'm going to go back over to EasyBib, and I'm going to add a citation, right? So I'm going to create a new citation, and it's a website. And I'm going to paste, And I'm going to hope that it comes up with her name and everything else, because that's very impressive when I see that there's a name. So let me make sure that this is going to go through. Now it's going to show me what EasyBib was able to find. This is what they found. This. What's missing? That's right. The writer of the article is missing. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click continue, and I'm going to add information. All I have to do is go back to this little article. Let me find it. Here's the article written by our darling Nicole Smith. So I'm going to go in here, Nicole and Smith. Because that site is a database. And I'm going to make sure that I have that URL shown. This is the date of the publication. I think that's all I need. Now that I have the title, I have her name, and the URL where I found it. Okay, so I have my 2 citations that are required for the proposal. Remember, I'm going to tick the boxes. That's one. Tick. And I'm going to export and Word doc, export, and it's going to open up in the bottom tray of my computer, and there it is. All I have to do is copy this. It's all beautifully formatted. Go back to my proposal. Oops. And paste. And there it is. Now there's my whole beautiful proposal. All ready. I'm going to get my word count and add that. And I'm going to save this as a PDF. And I'm going to submit it. And that's all that I'm required to do for the proposal. And that proposal is going to help me so much as I go through the process of writing the outline for the essay, because I've cleared everything up in my head. And I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for these fatal flaws. I'm looking for a synopsis of the hero that I can put into my own words. And then when the process is completed, as you know from that example that I posted in the checklist, this is what the final essay is going to look like. And of course I did not include a completed essay, but I've given you the start of what an essay would be. And I've included some of the information, and this is in the module, and it's right there under the checklist example. And you can see where I underlined my thesis statement, just as you're required to do. And of course it would go on, and then the outline would be using that template from the proposal to actually be able to fill in the information required in the outline. Yeah? Fun? I know. Once again, remember, the hero essay is a step-by-step process. It is a process, and this is the first part of the process. Enjoy this. I promise you're going to feel super smart when you're through with all of these little step-by-step instructions.